Well, the Leafs dropped this one 5-4 in overtime to the Detroit Red Wings. Guys, you win some, you lose some. It's sports. The Leafs coming into today had won, what, 5 games in a row, 6 games in a row, something like that. And we heard today that Garrett Sparks was going to get the start. Nothing wrong with Frederik Andersen, but just the fact that they want to get Garrett Sparks in there and get him some reps. So that's fine. I understand that, and I get it. But the Leafs, they come out flat offensively. You know, obviously with William Nylander in there in his first game, you can't really say that he was the problem in the game because really a lot of the lines were an issue. The Kadri, Johnsson, and Kasperi Kapanen third line was fantastic for the first few periods. They were a big reason of why this team got out in front early. Less than 5 minutes in, Kasperi Kapanen scores his 11th. Making it 1-0. Problem is, though, the Leafs give up 4 unanswered goals after that. Jonathan Ericsson scores his 2nd. Luke Glendening scores his 1st. Gustav Nyquist scores his 7th. And then Mike Green scores his 3rd. And just like that, the Leafs are down 4-1 midway through the second period. And guys, Garrett Sparks was not sharp early on. He really was not. That Mike Green goal, a floater from the point, not much of a screen whatsoever. And it finds a way in there. Nyquist's goal, horrendous positioning. Look, Nyquist is about at the circle, maybe a little bit closer to the boards. Garrett Sparks is hugging the post and down on one knee, and then trying to make some crazy glove save. No. Square your body and make it tough for him. Instead, those 2 goals, you know, pretty much easy for them, and that builds the lead. And we can argue about the second goal, saying he didn't get much much on that shot, and it finds a way underneath his arm, and I don't really know too much about the Ericsson goal, but nonetheless, the Leafs are down 4-1 after 2 periods of play, may I add. And this team needed to come on in the third to at least salvage a point. And Morgan Rielly busts down the wing, stops up, passes it back to John Tavares, and he rips it past Jonathan Bernier, former Leaf again, but cuts that lead to 4-2, and we're not even 3 minutes into that third period. Hang on there. 6 minutes after that, Ozhiganov point shot drops right in front, and who's up there to clean up the garbage? You're darn tootin'. Zach Hyman scores his 7th goal of the year. Ozhiganov and Mitch Marner grab assists. By the way, Morgan Rielly, Jake Gardiner grab assists on the John Tavares goal. When was the last time Morgan Rielly and Jake Gardiner played together? It has been quite a while, and they team up for that that second goal of the game in that third period there. And now it's a 4-3 game, and the Leafs are right in it now. 3 minutes after that, Austin Matthews kind of rips it off the boards, and Andreas Johnsson beats their defenseman to the puck, and I don't know, Bernier's just sleeping or just going to the post casual, because Andreas Johnsson kind of chops at it, and it goes over him and into the far corner of the net. We are tied at 4. The Leafs score 3 goals in a matter of 9 minutes, and they tie the game at 4 apiece. Now, some scary moments late, with about 9 seconds to go. The Red Wings fire one onto the net, and it hits both posts and comes out, and Larkin fires it over the net and out of play. Big key there. I mean, and then we go to overtime, and Dylan Larkin gets a breakaway off a turnover from John Tavares and undresses Garrett Sparks and beats him 5-hole. Like I said, guys, you win some, you lose some. And for this game, look, the way this game was going midway through the second period, I'm like, this is going to be an absolute gong show of an outing. But instead, the team grinds, and they salvage a point. Now, I know it's a stupid point. You want the 2, but nobody is perfect. You're going to lose games, but the way this game was going, I'll take this point and move on from it. Garrett Sparks, guys, was horrific. You could say, well, it wasn't bad in the third period. He was already down 4-1. That's enough. He gave up 5 goals on 27 shots. Not very good at all. An .844 save percentage. Not good whatsoever. And, look, like I said, you win some, you lose some. Next, you got to look now at this game in the books, and you kind of just got to look towards the next one. And the next game, guys, is Saturday night against the Boston Bruins in Boston. 7 o'clock puck drop there. And I'm assuming Frederik Andersen is going to be in net for that game against Yaroslav Halak. That is what we assume is going to be happening for that game. And like we've talked about over and over, guys, when you lose a game, when you go on a big win streak, which is nice, but it's what happens after you lose that first game. They lost there against the Red Wings. Now they play Boston in Boston on Saturday night. What is this Leafs team going to do? All right, and let's talk about William Nylander a little bit. He played in his first game back since this crazy saga that was going on, the William Nylander saga or whatever you want to call it. He didn't record a shot. I think he played like, what, 12, 13, 14 minutes in that range somewhere. He was okay. He made some pretty nice passes and all of that. But, again, it's going to take him some time, not only to get him going, but get his other team going, the rest of the team going around him. Nylander is a fantastic player. We know what he can do. It's just going to take some time for him to kind of get used to the system that is at hand right now, and the newish players, the emergence of Kapanen and Johnsson and Tyler Ennis and Par Lindholm, of course, and and obviously John Tavares, right? So William Nylander has a lot to, I wouldn't say he has a lot to learn, but he has a lot to get used to, I guess, as the season progresses. But we can't look at this game and say, oh, great, Nylander's back and we lose. Here we go. Guys, you don't look at it that way. You got a point out of a game you really didn't deserve a point in the first half of the game. You found a way to get one. You move on from it. All right? And I'm hoping there's actually nothing wrong with Freddie Anderson and that Garrett Sparks played today just to get him some work in. I'm really hoping that was just the case. I mean, Babcock can say whatever he wants. He can say that. Meanwhile, Freddie Anderson's a little sore from something, but he doesn't want to alarm the media or anything, so he says something about Garrett Sparks playing to get some work in, because we've never seen this from Mike Babcock. You never saw it from Curtis McElhinney. I know Garrett Sparks was a starter in the AHL and all that kind of stuff. We can talk about that all day if we wanted, but with McElhinney, you never saw that. No matter how good that guy was, if Freddie Anderson he was really busy a lot, he was still out there. Didn't happen with Garrett. First time in it feels like in years that the backup to Freddie Anderson is not playing is playing on the back-to-back, and holy smokes, it is crazy because the backup is playing in a non-back-to-back situation instead of Freddie Anderson. And apparently, he is healthy. That's up to you guys for debate. If he plays Saturday against the Bruins and he looks fine, he does well, then that goes right out the window, all right? So, guys, a little bit of a shorter video because it was a tough overtime loss. You don't really want to dwell on this game too much because it was a tale of two halves, really. A terrible first half and then a pretty darn good second half for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And you want to kind of throw this game away and move on because it just really wasn't. Not a draw board, not a video you kind of put on the drawing board is like, that's the type of game you'll want to see on a consistent basis, because that's not going to be happening with this one. Hopefully, though, that type of bullet board material, that's what I wanted to use, comes against the Boston Bruins, because I don't care what they are. I know they're playing they've lost 3 straight games, and they're only 4 games over 500. I get that. They're still the Bruins. And we are still the Leafs. So we go into Boston on Saturday night, 7 o'clock puck drop, hockey night in Canada. It's going to be a doozy, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video, and you guys enjoyed the comeback in this game today. Smack the like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below, guys. What do you think of the game? Who's your MVP in the game, if you have any? Would you give it to Johnsson? Would you give it to Kapanen? Would you give it to Tavares? Who would you guys give it to, if anybody? And also, what were your thoughts on the whole Garrett Sparks-Anderson situation there in this game today? I want to hear what you guys have to say about all that crazy stuff. And Evan and I will talk to you guys. Well, actually, the podcast has been recorded. After this is uploaded to YouTube, I will be uploading the podcast to the podcast channel. That link is in the description below, guys. The iTunes link for the podcast is also in the description as well. Twitter is also down below, guys. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff, and I will talk to you guys. Raptors edition tomorrow night as the Raptors are in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. All right, they look to get on a nice little roll here. Obviously, winners of their last game against Philly, they look to win their second straight game in Brooklyn, taking on the Nets tomorrow night. And as for the Leafs, guys, like we said, they take on the Bruins on Saturday night. Again, I'm not really sure about the whole upload time for that kind of thing, guys, but it will be uploaded for sure. I can guarantee you guys that because I always do it. I always got you guys covered. All right, as the Buds look to get back in the win column after this tough loss here tonight against the Detroit Red Wings, Leafs, Bruins, 7 p.m. puck drop at TD Garden on Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada. Here we go. Talk to you guys then.